Well, the Gujarati film Chello Show, or last film show by director Pan Nalin, is India's official entry to the 95th Academy Awards as announced by the Film Federation of India last Tuesday. Like the other cinephiles in the country, we too are upset on the selection. RRR was a mighty potent option that even a school kid could have thrived on. With the huge buzz it gathered in the Western media, as we spoke in detail in our conversation with variety critic Courtney Howard, RRR had already accomplished what all other Indian movies have failed in the past in their race to the Oscars. It had moved itself to the watch list of the Academy members, and a lot of them had already watched it. There's where we have always failed in spite of sending quite a few worthy contenders to the award shows in the recent past. RRR having swayed over the United States on its release with unparalleled fandom for an Indian movie that had already covered the most difficult part. We understand the film still has a chance to get nominated for the major categories, including Best Film, but that does not take away from the colossal mistake committed by an ever-bureaucratic FFI. Now when we say mistake, that does not go against the quality of Pan Nalin's film that we had the opportunity to watch about a month back and enjoyed thoroughly. Nalin's ode to cinema deserves your time and attention, and hopefully being India's official entry to the Oscars, the film will get a theatrical release soon in India. This film has enough merits for a good theatrical run, but honestly, given a choice, we would have still picked up RRR or a handful of other Indian films in the contention ahead of Chello Show for cinematic reasons alone. Why do we say that? Let's find out in this analysis of Pan Nalin's last film show. The semi-autobiographical film, based on Nalin's own childhood memories, is set near a remote station, Chalala, in Gujarat's Saurashtra. It narrates the story of the 9-year-old Samay, who is captivated by the enchanting light and shadow that the celluloid projection conjures on screen. "I want to become movies," he says. Later in the film, as Chello Show becomes Nalin's homage to the magic of movies, both watching and making them, that also focuses on the ending culture of cinema on 35mm celluloid films in India. Samay's father is a tea shop owner at the dusty Chalala station, where the kid helps him to sell tea. The man who otherwise discards cinema as an evil vice takes his family for this one show to the Galaxy Theatre in the nearby township, as it's screening Jai Mahakali, a mythological flick. This outing turns out to be the key juncture in Samay's life. A case of love at first sight with the movies as we watch across the film how multiple varied blockers couldn't deter him from his destiny towards cinema. A cute friendship develops with Fazal, the projectionist at Galaxy, as Samay keeps on coming back to the theatre, bunking his classes. That will instantly remind you of Alfredo and Toto from Giuseppe Tornatore's Cinema Paradiso, one of our all-time favorite films. It is the impact and sensibilities of Tornatore that we feel across Nalin's film. And it is surprising that the film mentions so many filmmakers, from Satyajit Ray to Maya Deren, Manmohan Desai to Quentin Tarantino, shies away from naming the Italian master. Gratitude of guidance is acknowledged to the Lumiere brothers, Edward Muybridge, David Lean, Stanley Kubrick, and Andrei Tarkovsky. In the start credits, as the film builds up, interesting set pieces as a homage to each of them. Most interesting of them might be towards Lumiere brothers, as Samay and his friends create their own DIY cinema, gradually assembling a makeshift projector from cardboard boxes and fragments of tinted glass. But here's where the problems with the film rises, as Nalin positions his little protagonist to play completely out of age. The attention and interest of the kid is split between the wonders of the visual on screen as well as the physics of the camera projection. Not that it is impossible, but somehow it doesn't feel organic. It is as if we watch, listen and react to the young adult Nalin within the 9-year-old kid, which somehow affects the grounded footing of the film. The time and space coordinates of the film also come across a bit messy, as we watch Galaxy Theatre playing Jodha Akbar, Aks and Khuda Gawah around the same time. That is still okay maybe, but when we hear one character say that presently there is only 2 religions in India, one who knows English and the others who don't, we clearly feel watching a late 90s movie. Well, that is the tone of the film. Too fantastical in a lesser Tornatore way. We say lesser because the film never attempts the high drama punctuations of Tornatore, but attempts to create those magical images. Not that these set pieces and images do not work. Most of them do, but while it appeals to you in a metaphorical level, the rootedness of the land, the individuality of the Indian storytelling goes missing. Say for example the beautiful end sequences of the film. The old celluloid projector is removed from Galaxy Cinema as the new digital one replaces it. The film reels and the projector are carried to the warehouse where they are grounded and melted down. The metal pieces turn into a bunch of spoons and the colorful film reels are churned into colorful bangles. Samay gets lost into these visuals as his objects of desire get transformed into something absolutely different. Samay as the Kirna story, or Samay as in time as Chello Show, also laments on the inevitability of the changes in life, to which cinema, with all its magic, also doesn't stand to be an exception. It's the second critical juncture in Samay's life, the moment of a big realization which leads him to his destiny. This sequence is beautiful, by far the most original in the film, but then, when that old projector is being carried away, it reminds of sequences you have watched in other European films. Well, that's what it is. If you have watched a lot of European cinema, Chello Show feels too inspired and the Indianness goes missing, as it happens with most other international productions set in India where characters communicate in English. Now that too is not a major problem, unless one sends this film to a major platform to represent the cinema of our country. So it is not about choosing quality over popularity or similar debates that will be there on social media for the next few days. Nalin's Chello Show, even though a well-made, enjoyable film, is not just the right representation of the tonality and pulse of our cinema, which RRR was to a great extent. How RRR is adversely affecting the variations in tonality of the mainstream cinema of our country with back-to-back larger-than-life replicas across regional industries is a topic for a different day. But today let's end with a hope that the team Rajamouli can pull up some magic to find themselves into the nominations of the main category. As for Chello Show, there is no denying that it is a worthy invitation to cinephiles to return to the theatres for the love of the medium. But perhaps the letter needed to be in a language in sync with our time and space. That is all from us today. Thank you for watching.